Now that's what I'm talking about. A little McCafe, home brewed hot coffee, way better than Dunkin'. I like it more. I don't know what you guys are talking about whenever you say the otherwise. Welcome everybody to Fit Brew Friday number 13. Lucky 13. Although this week is not so lucky, as I have been sick for the entire week. Just kind of a cold, as my nose gets congested right there. I have not had a voice for this entire week, and so today's episode is going to be one question, and I'm going to hope that it lasts reasonably throughout this video. I figure one question will keep it a little bit shorter, and hopefully it won't be too annoying to listen to me talk, because I'm honestly annoyed with listening to myself talk with the way my voice sounds this week. And so yeah, we'll see what episode 13 holds for us here. You guys trying to get me in trouble this week with a question on my thoughts on CrossFit. So hopefully I don't offend too many people with what I have to say. I think I keep it pretty neutral overall here. Maybe a little biased, I don't know. Either way, we're going to see what happens here as we dissect this week's Fit Brew Friday question. That is, how do I know if a CrossFit gym is a good one or a bad one? Well, disclaimer right up front, I've only been to a CrossFit gym once, maybe twice in my life. I only did one CrossFit official workout, one WOD, back in 2016. And so my knowledge base of CrossFit is limited to what I've seen and my understanding of things from just what I see out on the internet. So if I'm wrong on anything that I say here, you CrossFitters, you can tell me. You don't have to be mean, but you can tell me, and I will happily renege my comments on whatever I say. Okay? Deal? Cool. We're gonna be nice. I like it. So, the first thing I want to address, kind of this overarching idea with CrossFit, is that CrossFit is a sport. And so I forget where I heard this, but I like this way of looking at it. CrossFit is a sport. It's not exercise. It is, but it's exercise in the form of a sport. So when you're training for CrossFit, by doing CrossFit, that is like telling someone to go get in shape by playing football, you know? And so like what happens, what you get is that especially with these WODs, you have these unorganized kind of random workouts that are thrown together, that are put together to make you just beat the crap out of you, right? And so my biggest issue with CrossFit in general, just the overarching idea of CrossFit, is the lack of direction, the lack of purpose. It's just kind of exercise for the purpose of doing exercise. There's no end goal in mind necessarily, except to just try to be decent at a bunch of different stuff. And so if you are looking to go into a CrossFit gym, I'd say the first thing that I would find out, or when you're weighing your options, is find out ask them what the programming is. Are they just doing the WOD that CrossFit sends out every day? Is that what they do? They just like blast a thing on their website that today's WOD? Like I said, I don't know too much about this. That's my understanding of it. Find out if this gym programs things. Are they setting up an intelligently formed program that progresses from week to week to try to actually have progressive overload? Or is it randomized workouts that are sent out each day that have nothing to do with the day before, the week before, or anything? Because if your exercise isn't programmed, then let's say this: if your training isn't programmed, it's just exercise. It's not training. You have no goal in mind. You're not trying to accomplish anything. With that in mind, there's a lot of top CrossFitters and a lot of CrossFit gyms that do intelligently program and progressively overload exercises with an end goal of increasing whatever marker of fitness. Box jump, squat, whatever. Like I said, I don't know what you guys work for. So you hear my voice going? Here we go. We're getting there. And so, like I said, there's gyms out there that don't just mindlessly do the WOD and coach people through whatever that happens to be that day. Find one that actually programs things with a purpose. Are they doing warm-ups before every workout? Or is there a coordinated, structured, comprehensive warm-up that is allowing the clients or the athletes that day to prepare for their session? Is there mobility? Is there recovery work done after the session? These are all important factors to consider in a sport that is infamous for having a lot of injuries. Rhabdo being one of them, where you this severe overtraining that leads to actual muscle breakdown and long-term time away from working out or training in general to fix those problems. So if they're not warming up, they're not mobilizing, they're not enhancing recovery to the best that they are able, they're just, again, putting you out on the football field, letting you get smashed around a little bit, and then sending you on your way home. Again, just not very intelligently organized or put together with a goal in mind, or with a long term in mind even. Are they willing and able to modify exercises for beginners? Again, like I said, a lot of people, for whatever reason, go to CrossFit because they see it as this way to be fit in multiple areas, become better at multiple facets of fitness, Olympic lifts, cardio, overall strength, crazy stuff like that. But I think a lot of these gyms, what you have is this environment where you go in and it's like, okay, today we're doing snatches, whatever, AMRAP of 5-10 snatches, and plus 6 other exercises for the WOD. Any beginner in the world cannot do that. I just attended a USA weightlifting certification course over the weekend, and after that course I still realized that I could not possibly demonstrate a snatch or effectively coach a snatch to a client. I need a lot more work than what that course gave me. And I've been lifting since 2006, so 14 years I've been spending in the gym, and I'm still completely uncomfortable with trying to coach Olympic lifts. And a lot of these CrossFit gyms, that's the workout today, that's what we're doing. They're unbelievably technical exercises that are extremely dangerous if done without proper coaching and experience. And so, that's just one example of the thing. You have obviously stuff like handstand push-ups that these guys like to do, these crazy kipping pull-ups, that stuff. You have to be able to, as a good coach and a good personal training facility, if that's what you want to call it, regress these exercises and individualize it enough that new clients and beginners are able to be incorporated into the workout and not hurt themselves or just develop horrible movement patterns with poor coaching on these advanced lifts. And there's ways to do that. There's progressions for all these Olympic lifts and all these advanced exercises. Are they coaching them is the question. And if they're not your good CrossFit gym. And these are, I guess, with that, when you go to this gym, you should be grilling them with questions on this stuff and trying to find out how they do things. What is their philosophy on how they bring in new people, especially inexperienced lifters, coming into these gyms for the first time. Those were my notes on on what I would be looking for in a CrossFit gym that I was going to go to. Again, I'm not trying to offend any CrossFitters out there that might watch these videos. I'm going off what I know, or what I think I know at least, and I could very well be wrong. But I just want to stress to people that you should remember that CrossFit, again, is not an exercise program, it's a sport. And there's ways to train those different facets of CrossFit to improve them, and maybe be better at CrossFit as a sport, but you don't train for CrossFit by doing CrossFit. You learn the fundamentals of these exercises and how to do them effectively, and then you incorporate that into the actual sport of CrossFit. And then just something that I always, the biggest thing that I would say bothers me about CrossFit, and I kind of got into this with my talk on the Olympic lifting, they take these dynamic, explosive exercises and put them in high rep, fatigued situations. And that completely defeats the purpose of these kind of exercises. So your Olympic lifts are meant to be super powerful, high stress on the central nervous system exercises. Whenever you throw those in as part of a circuit that you're just running through as many times as possible, which ends up being high reps, that it becomes not only dangerous but ineffective. After you fatigued, you're not moving that bar fast. You're barely getting it up there. That defeats the purpose of training for power. And so if I have someone doing, we'll say in this case box jumps or some kind of explosive exercise, like I said, I want to use Olympic lifts as an example, but I don't really coach them right now. But if I have someone doing those, they're doing low rep, they're doing high set numbers, so maybe like 6 sets of 3 or something like that, and they're having a long rest period in between until their heart rate is completely recovered, or at least mostly recovered to the point that I know they can exert maximal effort on each set. When you throw these into a circuit and you're doing 10 box jumps and you have 3 power cleans, or 5, 10 power cleans, whatever, I don't know what they do. Again, that's not what these exercises were made for, and it's dangerous. And you obviously have people who are very experienced in these exercises that are able to still do it, but are they exerting maximal effort? It doesn't matter who you are, your body's energy systems can't exert maximal anaerobic effort on these exercises after that much volume and that much fatigue. It's just not how your physiology works. And so that is my big complaint about CrossFit in general. I know it's used effectively by a lot of people, and I know it's intelligently programmed by a lot of people, and it's a cool sport. Like I said, it's very entertaining. I like watching it. And the Olympic lifts, all that stuff, just that level of fitness completely floors me every time I see it. So no disrespect to the people that do it at all. Just coming from a strength coach's perspective, those are my thoughts on it. So that is all I have for you guys today on this episode 13 of Brew Friday. I hope that wasn't too monotonous and dragging. I still used 14 minutes on talking about one question, and so it wasn't as short as I thought it was going to be. If my voice sounds really stupid whenever I review this, I'm going to can this video and we will try this again next week. But assuming that it gets posted, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this and you get kind of a better understanding of what to look for in a CrossFit gym if that's what you're going into. Make sure to DM us, answer my questions sticker that I put on our story, ask us questions for next week. I'm looking forward to talking to you guys for episode 14, the 1st of February, next Friday. Catch you guys later.